Well, all right. Hello. I am so excited for another episode of Agent Success Secrets. And today's special guest is Dilara Wentz, that is just crushing it in her young years of real estate. I say young, 7 years you've been working in this business and you've had so much growth and success so far. And I know there's got to be some amazing wisdom that you are going to share with us today. So, will you please just introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Dilara Wentz. I'm in the Northern Virginia, DC market. I'm a military spouse. My husband retired after 22 years in the Marine Corps. I'm a mom of one, and I'm actually not originally from here. I am originally from Washington State outside of Seattle. So I got licensed in 2017. 2018 was when I actually got my license because I failed my exam 4 times. So don't tell
Yeah.
anybody. But yeah, I've been here ever since, and it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride.
Well, I first got to know you well through someone passing on the MREA podcast that you were featured on because you shared my name as a
Yeah.
system that you use in your business. And so I'm like, well, this is really cool. So I started
Yeah.
paying attention. We became social media friends, and then I got to hug you in real life at our most recent
Yeah.
event. So just kind of share with everyone your journey of, clearly a mom and a wife and a real estate professional, all of those blended together sometimes can be a lot. And then also having so much growth in your business over the years. Like, how did you do it?
Yeah, so when I got into real estate, like long story short, I actually bought a really terrible home that I probably should have never purchased. And my real estate agent never picked up the phone after we closed to like give me any sort of resources or anything like that. So I just kind of figured it out, and here we were, like in a new area, didn't know anybody, didn't know any contractors, had this home that we ended up spending like over $100,000 in that we shouldn't have because it was just all the things were wrong with it. So we were drowning in credit card debt, and I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and I have the worst anxiety, like it's out of this world. And most of us in real estate do. I mean, I've come to find out I'm not a rarity when it comes to the anxiety in this business. But I looked up one day and I was on the verge of divorce because financial stress is a thing. And just kind of said, okay, I got to do everything I can to try to get out of the situation that I'm in. So I ended up getting my real estate license. I failed my exam 3 times, passed on the fourth. So if you can, just stick to it. And for
Yeah.
all those new agents, like you'll get there, and it doesn't mean anything because obviously I am where I am today. But I ended up joining a great Keller Williams office. So I was really, really blessed to have a great mentor and just a great environment in general. So I closed 31 homes my first year.
Wow.
Only living in the area for about 7 months. So I talked to pretty much anybody and everybody I could at the time. And I got Rookie of the Year in my office. And then ever since then, I hired one person, made a team in my second year. I've torn down my team, built up my team, tore down again, and all the good, vibes of real estate. Sold about 40 to 60 houses on average. And then last year, me and my team had our best year yet at 102 units.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Last year was 2025, where many of us had not the best year ever.
Right. Yeah.
So, what do you attribute to that success?
So who's in your world is really, really important. And I figured out the type of people that I needed in my team and in my world. And I wanted to have a great agent on my team and have for a few years, but we were lacking additional leverage.
Mhm.
And so I was thinking I could do it all, and I couldn't, obviously. So one of my assistants had actually left. She had 4 babies in 4 years. So, you know, she couldn't afford the childcare and ended up PCSing out of our area. So she ended up moving to California. So I found a new executive assistant who's now my DOO, and
Yeah.
her brain as far as like systems and processes, because I'm the visionary, right? I'm like, we can do all the things, and we should
Yeah.
do this and that, and then she's the implementer. So she's did a bunch of stuff that just helped us, really take off. And we were able to concentrate more on lead generation as well as taking care of our people versus like all the back end nuance stuff. So,
Right. Yeah. So sometimes just those additional people or systems or tools can just catapult the business. You were already doing the work. You just were able then to focus on the most dollar productive things that had the biggest
exactly.
results. So
Yeah.
going back to being kind of a newer agent, you said 31 in your first year. That's a lot of families to help in one
Yeah.
year anyway,
Yeah.
especially when you're still kind of like learning probably the city, the areas, and
Right.
also the contracts and how to
Right.
actually do it. So, how messy was your life during that time?
I was like never home.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things like when I got into this, me and my husband had the agreement and the goal driven agreement right behind it of like getting out of debt. So we agreed like I won't be home unless I've got deals going, right? And when I am home, like, I'm gonna make sure that I'm still working because we were in such a place that we needed that and I needed to close deals. But it was messy. I mean, I didn't know much of anything. I remember crying over an earnest money deposit check that I thought I had messed up. I was like, oh no, right? And my team lead was like, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. And I was like, okay, it's okay, so very emotional. But I had a great mentor who ended up helping me with a lot of the lead gen aspects of it. I had a lender who actually, like, I guess saw a promise in me or something and paid for me to go through Buffini. And so I used the Buffini method basically my first couple of years nonstop, and then we still use it to today. So
Yeah.
definitely helped with some guidance of that.
So with the Buffini, I don't know all of it, but I'm thinking
Mhm.
it has a lot to do with relationships and
Yes.
loving on people and coming from contribution. Would that be
Oh,
right?
yeah. 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 Coming from contribution is what we always strive to do in my business and my team. But notes, calls, Popeyes, client events, newsletters, those are the things that
Yeah.
are the basis of it. And so that I just took that and ran with it. And I remember going in my mentor's office, and that's why I think it's so important to get yourself a strong coach or mentor. I think it was like my second week working with him, and I'd already been through Buffini, and I was like, okay, so what do I do? And he's like, okay, well, did you do your notes from last week? And I was like, no, I don't think those are gonna work. No. And he was like, okay, well, there's the door. Like, you can just leave. And I was like,
Accountable.
oh, okay, wait, hold on, And he's like, you want to write them to letter and together? And I was like, sure, we can write them together. So important. The accountability is like huge, massive.
That is amazing that he knew what it would take for you to have success. And now looking back, do you think
Yeah.
that worked?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a tough love kind of person. I'm with my, that way with my clients too and in my real life anyway. Just military mindset. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17. I wanted to make that a career. So I'm more of like a just shoot it to me straight versus like going around it. I don't need hand holding. I learned more so like feed me to the wolves kind of thing. So
Yeah.
definitely though it was an interesting way of doing it, but looking back on it, it was great. It
Yeah.
was what I needed.
So with last year's production of 102 families that you got to help, over 1.25 million in gross commission income and 51 million in volume,
Mhm.
that's a big business anyway. And you sounds like have now help in your
Mhm.
business with maybe some agents and some admin. Is life more counterbalanced for you, or are you still, you know where I'm going?
Yes. So, we did bring on a showing partner, because my buyer's agent now, I'm passing more to her, but showing partner wise, it's helped a lot. We call her our client success manager, and that has helped me a ton as far as getting my day back. So I can do more with my day. So we're going to be working on more of like YouTube type stuff. So this is my new
Mm,
background for my YouTube.
good.
Um, but I still struggle with control. So that's my biggest thing is like, again, from that anxiety stemming thing. Like, I just want to be in control of everything. And especially in this business, you just can't. It's not a thing. So I do have a little bit more time back, but as far as like the anxiety back end portion of my brain, it's a little bit better, but we're still working through it. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to figure it out. You
Yeah.
know, love and release kind of thing, just let it work its way out. So, yeah.
That's right. I don't think you're alone in feeling that way, but also knowing that the beautiful part of real estate is that we can set big goals and achieve them. There's really no cap on our opportunities,
Yeah.
and that can also be the downside. Is
Yes.
because we can keep growing and going without ever turning it off and having
Yeah.
a stop working time on our calendar. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about something specific because I love systems and I know you're known for your farming system. And I know you've talked about it a lot, but I know that most of your business already comes from your sphere, people you know, agent to agent referrals, which we all love and appreciate. But I think a farming system, whether it's like geographic or a certain community, I think that's something that when we are in the age of, as we know, AI, this
Mhm.
automated world, more than ever, real relationships are really what's going to make us different from that AI bot, chat bot.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about how you had the idea of going deep into farming.
Yeah. Well, most of my people and inbound people are military, and the military had come out and said, we're looking to homestead people, which means that they didn't want to move them as often, which is great, obviously, for everybody who's in the military, because when you're in the Marine Corps specifically, you're looking at moving every 2, maybe 4 years, 3 on average. So, with them slowing that down, I wasn't going to have quite that turnover, I was thinking. So, I was like, how can I fill sort of that void that I might have within my business? And I went to a business planning clinic. There was a longtime Keller Williams agent that was there who said, I'm going to tell you guys how to get business this year. And I guarantee like none of you are going to do it. And I'm always like, whoop, perfect timing, right? Challenge accepted.
Challenge.
Yeah. So I had just moved into a neighborhood about a year prior that was still being built, but there was an older portion, a newer portion, and all that. And nobody had market share. So when she said accelerated farming, I was like, oh, maybe this is my thing because I want to get in more into my neighborhood and all the systems of that. So I ended up getting back home and writing a plan out. And she had said, this many postcards this month, this many postcards that month, so on and so forth. And I just added it sort of into what I already do for my sphere as well. So it was just kind of like, okay, these are my touch campaigns already. And then I'm just going to add this postcard thing into it. And I kind of built off of that. So I didn't know where I was going to get the money for it because there's 1,800 homes in my neighborhood. So I was definitely a little concerned about the money aspect. So RESPA compliant, of course, I did find my partners because Gary Keller at a mastermind had actually said during COVID, y'all have had a lot of passengers and you need to go find your partners. And that kind of perked up my ear because I was like, okay, I don't think I've ever really partnered with my, people on my bus. So my lenders, my title company, all of that. So I came back and that was the one thing I wanted to make sure that I had a partnership with. So kind of took it from there and built it out. And I sold 11 homes in my farm my first year. I got my first listing off of my second round of postcard. And it just kind of took off from there. And now it's more automated. So I actually really don't even think about it. I get calls every week from people in my farm and actually got a call before I got on here about somebody wanting to list their home in my farm. So, but I live there. But we've tried this in other markets too with other agents, and you don't have to live in your farm. We actually have helped other agents do that. And so
Yeah.
it's been great. And I made it more like me and modern, but old school works. So I love when people are saying like, don't send a recipe. I'm like, well, I'm going to send a recipe because I'm get photos from people who made my recipe and then send it to me directly. And they're like, hey, the kids loved this, right? Or something like for Halloween, we did Rice Krispie spiders or something. And they send us a picture, so yeah, it
I
comes
I
quick.
think I think if they are getting your physical snail mail, they're
Yeah.
at least seeing you, if not just on the way to the recycling bin. And it's sometimes just the right timing.
Yeah.
Like, like you just don't know. And so let's talk about the details of it. So you started, so now you partnered. So really it's zero or no or low cost for you.
It's a low cost. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've offset the money part. So if anybody
Hmm.
concerned about that, you
Yeah.
push that aside. And
Mhm.
then you have the mailer. Let's get de into details. What does it look like?
It's literally just a standard size postcard, and on the front, it's got like a recipe or just sold or something about the neighborhood, or if we're doing a drive for, charity or something like that. And then on the other side, it has like if you'd like a free evaluation, scan here. And the scan is really the capture of it, but it's stupid simple. I tell people all the time, like when I first was doing it, all I would do is go on Etsy and order like 12 different style of postcards and plug and play and not spend so much time on it because it's going to go in the trash, right? So that's not my best time spent because I can go down the Canva rabbit hole just like everyone else. So
Yeah.
they're pretty simple, even just like Happy Valentine's Day or Happy St. Patty's Day. And sometimes they're corny and, we love them.
Well, clearly it works because you've
It
got the
does.
results. You've got
Yeah.
the results to prove it. So you got
Yeah.
systemized. It sounds like you're a relationship type business that
Yeah.
just pours into your people and into your community. What else do I need to know about your systems that are bringing in great results?
Yeah, it's consistency. That's the biggest thing. So, it used to be the old tale, right? It's like 18 months of farming. I usually give it about 6 months before I start moving on. Because our farming program, we do it with the trends of our market. So like the three postcards we send are for, 3 months. So three postcards this month, three postcards the next month, three postcards the next month. And that's usually like when your market's a little slower. So we send them between like December to February, right? Because I want to be in their mailbox while
Yeah.
they're thinking about selling in the spring. So I'm there like every other week, pretty much. Hello, it's me. And yeah. And so I end up doing three a month for those couple of months. And then we go down to two a month because we still want to be regularly in their inbox because that's still the time that people are thinking about hiring. And then during the busy months and normally the taper off months, right, we're doing about one a month. So I'm still in their inbox. But we do a lot of other touches. So like with Buffini, the Popeye method, we do a little candy bag and it's got a little sticker on there. And I'm not a door knocker. I don't door knock. It's not my thing. I don't like people talking to me through their Ring doorbells or yelling at me through their window. Like it's just not my jam. I've done it twice. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that. So we just do like a rubber band with a candy bag and we put it on the door and we do the nearest 50 to 100 doors every time we have a listing. And there's a whole processes. And then I do birthdays. So I'll drop off treats for birthdays to neighbors and people just love it.
Yeah. So just deepen the relationship and
Yeah.
being consistent with it along the way. So as we kind of wrap, I want to hear as you've grown in these 7 years, you've had some ups and downs and ins and outs of team and production. And so where are you on your current journey? What's your next move and who are you looking for to join you right now?
Yeah, I'm actually like we're humming pretty good right now,
Yeah.
so I'm not really looking to add at all, but I think the where we're going from now is just short and small growth and just being really purposeful with what we have right now. I've always been one person to like stride for a lot. Like everyone's like, you should only increase your goals by like 10% maybe. And then I'm like, let's do 40, right? Let's do 40 this year because why not? Because it sounds like a good number. So I'm just trying to take the baby steps. I'm trying to kind of like work forward at a slower pace. And then I have some personal goals that I'm trying to reach as far as like I'm in the midst of writing a book. So there's that. And then just spending time with my family. My son is 10, going on 11. So he's growing and trying to just be more purposeful about being home with
That's right.
them. My husband's a stay-at-home dad now. So
Okay, that's a whole nother fun story that,
yeah.
yeah, so he saw that him supporting you was the place to be for him now. That's
Yeah, and we homeschool, and so it's a whole thing, but he's loving it thus far, and he retired from the military, and so it's a nice
great.
little break for him.
That is so great. Well, how can everybody best find you so they can follow along and watch all your success and growth?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and Instagram. I got on the TikTok, so we'll see how we go with that. Just made a YouTube page, so follow us there. But if you just look up my name, there's not many of me, Dilara
Right.
Wentz. And then anytime you'd like to contact me, my phone number is 425-941-2428.
I have so enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for sharing with me, and I can't wait to talk to you soon.
You too.